And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around your real estate, credit, finance, estate plans, tax plans, and immigration law. Today on the Consumer Quarterback Show, we're helping you win in any marketplace. We aim to, our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage you to help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
We want you to save our hotline number in your phone because at some point you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. Bookmark our website as well, consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors from our website at consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you. I implore you to check out our website. You can see links to all of our expert contributors, the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region that we've assembled, we vetted, and we bring on the show to help you understand more about your daily decisions, life aspirations, things that might happen. And we don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. It's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me. Back in studio, Doctors Martins Imudia, and welcome back in, immigration attorney.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. So, legal contributor here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to talk about immigration today.
Yes. The most important item to discuss today is that of the I-9s. I know last week we started the process of talking about the importance of the I-9s to the employer in the Trump administration. The fact is that people out there just think of immigrants as those, the Latinos, the Mexicans, those from Africa or Europe without paperwork, and they don't have to bother about immigration. But that is not the truth.
Right.
Today's immigration law applies to everybody.
Wow. Including
yourself. Any employer. In the past, it's not been enforced because the enforcement was lacking. Now, there's serious enforcement of the employer's responsibilities as far as the I-9s, are concerned.
Wow.
Yep. I would like to throw light a little bit on immigration, the I-9s, and those that it plays around, the different department with the I-9s, so that people will understand what they are dealing with.
Yeah.
What makes immigration very interesting is the fact that it's spread wide in various departments. We have Department of State that issues the visas for them to come to the country. We have Department of Homeland Security that is actually in charge of both the enforcement and the processing of visas right here in the States. And then you have Department of Labor that enforces certain rules as far as who can be employed and who cannot be employed. So when you look at the various departments, you see that there are multifaceted operation out there. So the employer must know exactly how to do paperwork for employing,
right,
whether immigrant or non-immigrant, because the enforcement is for everybody.
Yeah, that's important to know. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there around immigration. The employment side is a whole nother, area that compliance, need to make sure compliance for employers. So Dr. Martins Imudia, attorney at law here, Center for U.S. Immigration Services. More from him coming up. We also have Ron Fuller back in the house as well. Mossy Oak Fence, welcome in.
Brandon, it is always a pleasure to be surrounded by such greatness.
Yeah.
I'm soaking it all in. I want to talk immigration. I want to talk about the 30-year-old that needs to be immigrated out of his parents' basement.
Yeah.
And let's talk about rotting wood and metal posts for fencing.
Yeah, fencing. So we'll talk a little fencing, and we have our interesting story here. Judge rules 30-year-old must move out of his parents' home. If you haven't seen this one, it's comical, but it's real. So we'll talk about that here on the show today. And we also have our feel-good story of the week. My daughter, Braylon's off from school, summer school, or summertime is here. So she's going to be talking about this story. Immigrant dubbed Spider-Man of Paris gets French citizenship after saving a child. So we have a feel-good story coming up for you there. We want to give a shout-out to our official restaurant partner, which is Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Plaza Mall. They do a great job entertaining. They've got a Sunday brunch now over at Brio Tuscan Grill. Now, all you have to do, they got a special going on. All you have to do is mention the Consumer Quarterback Show when you go and visit them. Let them know the Consumer Quarterback Show, you're a fan of the show, and they're going to hook you up with a free appetizer over at Brio Tuscan Grill just by mentioning the Consumer Quarterback Show. And they've got some great food over there. Calamari, beef carpaccio, the spicy shrimp and eggplant is excellent. The wait staff is very friendly, and say hello to them. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you over at Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall. And as you know, I'm the owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. I've got some hot listings I want to let you know about briefly here. 3911 West Euclid Avenue in South Tampa. This is in the Belmar subdivision. 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, $840,000. Great buying opportunity for this 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2-story home in Plant High School District. That's the kicker there. One of the best districts in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region, they say, to live in is the Plant High School District. We've got a great asset here on 3911 West Euclid Avenue in Tampa. Also, taking you across the pond over to St. Pete, Old Northeast St. Petersburg, giving you a sample of that 33701 zip. This is the northeast section, 215 12th Avenue Northeast, St. Pete. This is a pre-construction property that's almost completed, almost finished. 4 bedrooms, 5 bath, 3,700 square feet, $1.4 million is the asking price here. Beautiful property in Tampa Bay. And we got an event coming up. I want everybody to come join us and raise some money for children here in Tampa Bay. This is a charitable kind of a PSA announcement that we're doing. Bringing our business partner in. Ken Shamrock's coming in town on June 21st. He's going to deliver a powerful keynote talking about his upcoming, his childhood, some of the challenges he had. But we're doing a keynote benefiting the Ian Beckles Foundation on June 21st, Thursday, June 21st, 4:30. The doors open. Come and hang out with us. We're going to do a live radio show broadcast. Check out Ken Shamrock doing a keynote speech at Fire Station number 5, aka Red Door number 5. It's a great venue. Going to have a lot of fun with you over there. So come out and network with all of our expert contributors. Our show partners are going to be there, and it's going to be a great time raising money for the Ian Beckles Foundation. So we'd love to have you there, and come hang out with us. And tickets are available on Eventbrite. Just go to eventbrite.com, search up keyword Shamrock, and you'll find it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, Martins, I've been on air for 5 years now as a consumer advocate, and we've talked about immigration in the past, and I think even now there's just, it's a great timing to talk about this. It's something that people are faced with. You're hearing stories about families being torn apart. There's the emotional side of it. There's the factual side of it, and then there's the gray area. So what we want to do is have you come in and just educate our listeners about this topic. So I appreciate you coming in today. And there's a lot of misinformation out there about it.
Thanks, Brandon. The fact about immigrants, again, in terms of pulling parents apart from the children,
right,
is a serious one. Because in the past, the enforcement issue has been more lax in the past. Now you have a situation where parents coming with their children here, they are separated. The seriousness and the impact of that actually is going to tell on the public.
Right.
Because as a parent myself, I can imagine if I'm in a situation where I have to come in from other countries to come to the U.S. and then because I'm trying to seek some form of relief, whether it's asylum or any form of relief, and then I'm separated from my child. I mean, that is torturing.
That's tough.
Yes, I'm not sure how the public will deal with the issue, but as immigration practitioners, we try our best to help those who are in need, whether they actually deserve what they need is a different story.
Right.
Because the law allows foreigner to come into the U.S. to seek, say, political asylum, or for the children, special immigrant juvenile status. Let me educate the public a little bit about special immigrant juvenile status. That is something that many members in the public don't know, because in the domain out there, people don't think of immigration until it becomes an issue for them. Either their child goes out to marry an immigrant, or they get involved with somebody who works for them and they need help. In South America, for example, they've had some serious issues in the past, say 5-6 years, and the children coming on their own, unaccompanied minors, because they have problems back home. yes, some of them are actually sponsored by the parents to come in here, live better life, and
Right.
create better economy for them. But some of them actually were neglected or abandoned by their parents. You see, under the law, if a child under 18 comes into the US and proves that there is abandonment or neglect from one of the parents, not two, just one, the child would have to be protected. You go to the court, either juvenile court or family court, to get a court order to make the child an order of the state. Then immigration takes up the document and gives green card to the child.
Wow.
So that is appealing. When they hear that this is possible, they want to cross the border to come in and get it. But
Right.
I mean, somehow I am torn as to how this whole thing is turning out. I think
Right.
over time the public will would have to say something about it.
Wow. So if I understand you correctly, I mean, people, if there's a minor kid that somehow makes his way into the United States, the law, the way it reads right now, is that the United States government would have to take care of that child.
Yes, the general rule as far as immigration law is concerned, when somebody comes into the US, whether they have a valid claim or not, they are allowed to come into the country.
Wow.
There is a due process where they will have to go to court.
Right. All right. So when we come back, I want to pick up right there, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that, and I think I've heard that from, like Cuban refugees coming from Cuba. Once they land on the soil, I want to talk about that. There's a law there as well.
Sure.
So we're talking with Dr. Martins Imudia, attorney at law, Center for U.S. Immigration Services, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. We're going to talk more about immigration law, how it may impact you as an employer, and also potentially friends and family. So stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to ConsumerQB.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today, and we're talking immigration law currently right now with Dr. Martins Imudia, attorney at law, Center for U.S. Immigration Services, back in studio here and educating our listeners around some of these misnomers out there. There's so much bad information, and that's what's challenging today is when you get on the internet or any type of website, you're reading something. How do you really know it's true, right? I mean, it's got to end with .gov or .org a lot of times, but even then, some of the stuff might be outdated, old information that was posted. So that's why we appreciate you coming on the show here. Update our listeners talking about immigration. So before the break, I kind of posed that question. The law, and I don't know what the case is, but I've heard in the past that Cuban refugees are from any country really, but Cuba's the closest. I guess it's about 90 miles. If they make it to U.S. soil, what's the rule there? Once they make it to soil, they're allowed to be brought in?
Yes, generally, like I said, whether you're a Cuban or Mexican or somebody from Europe, when you come in here to seek any immigration relief,
right,
and the immigration officer, whoever is treating your matter, feels that you're not qualified to remain in the U.S., you're not deported outright. For the Cubans, they call them the wet foot and dry foot cases, where before Obama left, he changed the law. But prior to the change of law, any Cuban that was able to cross ashore to the U.S. line, coastal line, would automatically be considered for political asylum. And they were going to stay here usually for 1 year before they can get their green card. That is no longer the case. However, the Cuban that still comes in will still have to go through the process of seeking asylum, not automatically based on them crossing the coastal line, but it's got to be based on the fact that they are actually qualified for the political asylum. And that is very, very strict. That you don't have a job. What we find out there, we have a client come to us and say, hey, I'm a refugee. I want to seek political asylum. I say, tell me why.
Right.
The standard is clear. You have to show that you have been subjected to persecution, or that you will be a subject of persecution if you go back to your country.
Wow.
So most of them can prove, oh, no, I don't have a job. No. You don't have a job is no basis for which you claim political asylum.
Right.
But either way, you still have to go to the court, immigration court that is clogged up right now, waiting for about 2 or 3 years before you are removed out of the country.
Wow.
That's the part that actually Trump administration is fighting against.
Right.
The process. But again, if you take that out, then you're taking out the fundamental right of foreigners that America protects.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you break it down, if you look back into your history, we're all immigrants to this country.
Yes.
My grandparents were first generation from Portugal through New York. Like a lot of families were through New York. You see a lot of the older videos, a lot of movies that kind of document that process. Okay, so what's next? What do you want to talk about next?
Yes. The most important thing I want to talk about for today, like I started earlier, is the I-9s. Because we've seen serious cases coming up recently.
Yeah.
Just last week, a client who owns a cleaning company called me and said, look, he got a letter from ICE. ICE is the department that actually enforces the immigration law. So they came to her office and asked for all the human resources record. Basically, they wanted to get the I-9s.
Yeah.
And what they asked for, copy of the I-9s when they were signed, both the employer and the employee, when they signed it, and what they have as documents supporting their right to work. Okay? But unfortunately, my client did not know anything about I-9. So that means from the start of it, there's already a violation of immigration rule. Because the I-9 is saying, look, for you to employ anybody, whether they're Americans or foreigner, you have to document their right to work.
Yeah.
And you have to separate the file from the human resources file because they don't want to discriminate. The I-9s must be signed by the employee the first day they come to work.
The first day of the work.
Yes. And the employer must sign within 3 days of the employee starting to work. So
Wow.
if you do not sign that within the period, you're statutorily violating the rules.
Wow. And you're opening yourself up to large.
To serious penalty. And some of them could be jail time.
Wow.
It's serious. So what I wanted to talk to the audience about today is the fact that every employer out there should begin to look at the need to document their I-9s.
Right.
Make sure that whoever they are employing has the right to work.
Right.
For the American citizens, what they ask for is either the social security card and the driver's license. Okay, that proves that they're legally allowed to work. Because for every social security card that is issued that you're not allowed to work, the Department of Social Security Administration will write that the card is not valid for employment. So that's why you actually have to look for the social security card. Because if you have a valid social security card with a valid ID, it means the person is authorized to work
Okay.
and to live in the U.S.
So it's got to be a valid Social Security card and ID.
Yes.
Got it.
And then for the aliens, they have to show that they are authorized to work by showing their visa. Because some aliens will have to get employment-based visas. Say they are professionals. So that visa must be valid. And then the social security card they get is temporary social security card.
Okay.
So based on what I was explaining earlier, we are now in the process of trying to fix the client's situation because this client never knew anything about the I-9s.
Wow.
And we're supposed to supply the I-9s within 10 days to ICE.
Wow.
There's nothing to supply.
Whoa.
So the question is, how long has it been going for?
Yeah.
Willful violation is serious. So those are the issues that employers should be wondering about what to deal with, how to deal with them.
Yeah, they definitely should. So if you're a listener out there, maybe an employer or in that situation where you have a friend who's an employer and they maybe have questions about these I-9 forms, this is a text offer. We're going to have you text the word immigration to our hotline. Just give us a text or a call, 813-670-7372. Text the word immigration to our hotline at 813-670-7372, and we're going to put you in touch with attorney Dr. Martins Imudia, Center for U.S. Immigration Services, and we're talking about immigration straight talk here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And this is ways, this is making sure that you're not violating it, because if you're in a situation where you're violating, you're talking about thousands of dollars of potential fines. You're talking about potential enjailment and losing your business over some of these things that could be avoided. Yep. So we want you to think a layer deeper here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So Dr. Martins, what else are you seeing in that space? I'm sure you have a wide variety of people you're serving with your law firm. What's kind of next up? What's the next topic we should talk about?
Well, the issue about I-9 is there, but there's generally the need for business immigration to be amplified. Mm-hmm. Because the country is built around immigrants.
Right.
You can't shy away from the fact.
Right.
Why we think of immigration law as dealing mainly with the refugees and the special immigrant juvenile status, those kids coming from South America, you also need to know the part that is critical to the U.S. economy. I mentioned before, last period I was here, about the EB-5.
Yeah.
The EB-5 is a major one, but it's suffering right now because Congress is trying to make changes to it, knowing that some of the legislators are thinking that the amount that is being asked is lower than some countries. So that's been reviewed. But aside from the EB-5, there are a lot of other possibilities that investors come into the country to put money in the system.
Right.
For example, the real estate brokers.
Right.
There are a lot of transactions you can do that will bring the investors to the U.S. and partner with whether real estate broker or whoever is doing business here. Aside from the EB-5, like I said, the L1 visa is critical. The L1 visa is for somebody who owns business from foreign country that want to expand their business to the U.S.
Okay. Seems like a good thing.
Yes, big. There are a lot of visas there. The beautiful thing about this kind of visa, which I enjoy doing, is that for this kind of visa, they don't actually have a limit. Unlike the H-1B that we spoke about last time, the H visa has a limitation in terms of numbers.
Oh, wow.
So for every year, they issue 65,000 visas to non-immigrants. But for the L visa, those who own businesses in some other country for more than 3 years wanting to expand to the US, there's no limit. So the country can take as many as possible.
Interesting.
So long as they are valid and they are credible companies.
Yeah.
Willing to expand to the US.
Yeah. It's interesting. You look at the business climate and you look at the, I'm from a small town in South Florida. So, a lot of farming, a lot of agriculture down there. And, it's a tough balance because there's a need for the crops to be picked. There's a need for those harvesting duties to happen. And then on the flip side, it's people that are nervous about people coming in that are undocumented, committing crimes. How do we track them? How do we track them down? How do we, do we have fingerprints on file? I guess that's at the heart of the immigration challenge.
Yes.
I think that's what we're seeing. And then you come into, sanctuary cities where cities are saying, hey, we're not going to abide by the federal government's law, even though these laws are in place. We're going to, almost harbor some of these fugitives. Maybe when we come back, we'll kind of talk about that, maybe debate that a little bit.
Sure.
And we're also going to bring Ron Fuller into the conversation, Mossy Oak Fence. And we got a funny story for you. Judge rules 30-year-old must move out of his parents' house. So stay with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we'll see you right after this short break.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your Consumer Quarterback. 813-670-7372. Open phone lines at 813-670-7372. We'd love to hear from you. Call or text any questions you may have, and we will get you in touch with the right answers for sure. And helping you win in any marketplace, giving a shout out to Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach, our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. They got a special going on. All you have to do is call them up. Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora, beautiful St. Pete Beach. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and you're going to get 20% off of your room stay. And also, you're going to get hooked up with a bottle of wine and a charcuterie platter in your room when you call in just by mentioning the Consumer Quarterback Show. You're on the VIP list over there. And got the 360 rooftop views, or gorgeous views overlooking the Gulf of Mexico and the Intercoastal Waterway. Great place. Check out Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora, our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we're back here in studio. We're helping you win in any marketplace. Dr. Martin's Imudia Center for U.S. Immigration Services, Immigration Straight Talk coming up as well. We got Ron Fuller, Mossy Oak Fence. But I wanted to stay on this immigration topic just for a bit longer here, where there's different types. I like what we were talking about kind of between the break there. I wanted to expand on that. So there's an E2 visa that's out there that is it's helping farmers specifically, and it's kind of catering to those countries like Mexico, for example. So these are E2s that are available. That's going to be able to help bring in those unskilled workers. They don't have to be skilled workers.
Absolutely. The reason why I bring this up is that usually when it comes to immigration, people connote it negatively.
Right.
The E2 visa is a positive visa because it's designed to bring investors to the country.
Yes.
So they don't only come in with their workers, they actually come in also with some funds. So if you find this kind of opportunity, why don't you take advantage of it?
Right.
I think that is what we're doing now, trying to help the farmers.
Right.
For example, those from the mainly agricultural-based economies, help them in when they have the E2s. The E2s, they are not available to every country. It's very important to note that. Is for select countries.
Right.
Those are treaty visas, meaning that the U.S. government decides to agree with another country on allowing their nationals to come in here as investors.
Right.
Okay. So that is different. So when they come in as E2, they can come in on their own with their family and also bring in some workers.
Okay.
To do work. So, and the difference between the E2 and regular visa is that the E2 is not necessarily for the skilled workers, because we are very used to skilled workers. The best doctor from Sweden moving to the US. It's okay, it's easy. The Nobel Prize winner from Germany is coming to the US as immigrant. Those are available, no problem. But the E2 gives opportunity for those who actually don't have the Nobel Prize brain, don't have the best professional skills or multiple degrees to come in here with some cash and do business.
Right.
So that is the category we're exploring now to help the farmers, because of the challenges we're having bringing the non-skilled workers with the visa challenges from other countries.
Yeah, I like that. Immigration law here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're talking with Dr. Martin's Imudia. He's a local attorney here, our legal contributor in the immigration space here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So yeah, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Did you have a question, Ron?
Yeah, Brandon, the one thing that there's always seems to be a keyword missing. We are a country built on immigration. The key word is we're a country built on legal immigration.
Right.
A country of laws, and in a country where when they came to Ellis Island, they were checked, had lice, their teeth were checked. I mean, you had to sacrifice to get here to be an immigrant. And the countries, you can see what's happening in Europe, where the laws are just kind of railroaded.
Yeah.
And it's becoming chaos. Without laws, we'll become a people of chaos.
Right. Yeah. I think it's a common sense thing too. You got to have the common sense into the system, and unfortunately today common sense isn't very common in a lot of places. So
yes, Ron, the laws are actually there. I think what is happening now is that more of enforcement is in place more than what it used to be before.
Right.
That is the difference. It's very hard in Europe. I mean, I've been to Europe. I studied there for years. It's very hard to enforce immigration laws where countries are too connected. We have the luxury of the southern border. We can go there and traffic it. But in Europe, you have countries connecting everybody. So it's
all
hard
over the place.
To an extent, it's not their fault. It's their geographical situation.
Yeah.
They're living with the challenges for that.
So the geographical layout of the land.
Yes.
You could have literally 4, maybe even 5 borders or more, crossing over,
right?
Based on the geography of the country.
Even the non-EU countries, for example, like the UK that left the European Union, they still have border with the European Union countries, and they're hardly inspected. They have trains crossing one country, so it's challenging, really.
Yeah.
So it's not their fault.
Yeah, it really is. And the whole idea of the sanctuary cities here, in the United States, it's that to me, that's something it was when I heard about I guess it was in San Francisco. The guy killed people. He was held in the city. That's like a worst case scenario playing out. He was, and then I guess the city says, "Oh, we're not going to allow the feds to come in and take the guy." I don't know exactly how that would play out, but are you familiar with that story? Do you remember that story?
Well, I'm not sure of that particular story, but we are very familiar with sanctuary cities and what is causing right now.
Right.
You probably know why there are sanctuary cities. A city like New York was created by immigrants. They believe strongly that you should not report immigrants to, the Fed to pick them up. That's the issue. So if you build your city around immigrants, it's very, very hard to turn against immigrants.
Right.
I think that is something that will be tested over time.
Right.
I don't think it's going to survive for too long.
Right.
But they have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
One enforcing greatly, the other one without enforcement. I give you an example.
Yeah.
I was in Louisiana when the hurricane hit. The Hurricane Katrina. That hit then.
Yeah.
Yep. And immigrants came, especially undocumented, came in to help.
Right.
And the police was my friend. I said, look, what's happening? You're not seeing these guys come? He said, look, we can't build the city without these guys.
Right.
So that's the reality.
Right.
So if you actually stop everybody, we're going to have serious effect on consumer costs for production and services.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's a catch-22. But somehow I believe that the borders must be enforced and immigration laws have to be enforced.
Right.
But it requires some level of remodeling and restructuring of the law.
Right.
Changes has to be made to the law to make it easier to enforce and also create, situations where what we have now can be addressed.
It's definitely a complex topic here of the immigration.
It's interesting. I know my great-grandparents immigrated from Russia legally, and it was by a great, they had to really contribute. It was difficult, but they were so proud. They were so proud to be Americans. They were so proud to be given this chance. But they worked through the laws, and it was interesting. They even felt it rude to speak Russian in public. They knew that their English was very bad, but they really wanted to respect the country. They were great patriots.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. So when we think about immigration law, we want you reaching out to Dr. Martin's Imudia, Center for U.S. Immigration Services, Immigration Straight Talk here, legal contributor on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we want all of our listeners, go to our website, consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors there. All of his contact information is on the website, consumerqb.com. So kind of lightening it up here a little bit too, kind of sticking on the topic, but maybe a little bit off. Judge rules 30-year-old must move out of his parents' house. It's time for a 30-year-old man to move out of his parents' home. A update, New York judge ruled Tuesday. Parents Mark and Christina Rotunda of New York want their son Michael to move out, get a job, take his broke-down Volkswagen Passat with him. The couple gave Michael several eviction letters over the past few months and have even offered him financial help, but he won't leave without a legal fight. So the story goes on to read, and we saw the video, Ron.
Yeah. Incredible. I'm interested with the doctor. Doctor needs to be hired by the parents, I think. This is a sad story.
Look, Ron, I can't get involved. For immigration purposes, after 21 years, you're out of it.
Oh, that's way funny.
It's out of luck.
This is sad, Brandon. I mean, here's a guy. First of all, he needs to go look in the mirror and find some self-respect.
Yeah.
At 30 years old. I think this is a symptom of a bigger issue in our country. I mean, we can all laugh at it. It's actually pathetic. Mm-hmm. And I believe it's a bigger symptom of our entitlement, weak, limp-wristed, panty-waist society that we've become in this country.
Yeah. Lazy.
To put it mildly.
He's obviously lazy. The guy doesn't want to move out. He doesn't want to earn his own way and pay the bills and be out. And they even offered him $1,100 to find another place to stay.
I mean, he probably knows all the SpongeBob episodes, and he's probably pretty good at video games, but the guy needs to get some self-respect.
Yeah, absolutely, and it does speak to a softening, if you will, of the American. I don't know if it's work ethic, and of course we're not talking about everyone. It's across certain lines,
Sure.
but when you look at it, a story like this comes into the news, and it's comical, and it's real. People actually live into this circumstance. So I guess they're kicking him out of the house, right? Is that what they said?
When he could find a Starbucks and he'd be all set.
Yeah. Post up in there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, if he can get his Volkswagen to one of the Vanistas that make coffee, he'd be all set.
Yeah. All right, stay with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show coming into our final segment. We have our feel-good story of the week. Immigrant dub Spider-Man of Paris gets French citizenship after saving a child. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. We're looking for a few select real estate agents that want to join our team. We're recruiting, we're growing. We added offices on West Shore. We got an office over there sharing an office space with Ian Beckles on West Shore. In South Tampa, we're on Henderson and also Ashley Drive downtown. We got an office there now as well. Town and Country is our base. So we are growing, expanding with Platinum MVP Realty. We're looking for real estate agents that might want to join our team, and we are helping you win as Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's #1 consumer advocate here in Tampa Bay. Check out our new flyers that we got put together. These are brochures and flyers that have most of our expert contributors in there, and we want to help you win, connecting you with 80-plus show partners, CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, all types of people that we can put you in touch with to help you avoid the commission-based advice that's so prevalent out there in our community, helping you, going against the grain of the often negative mainstream media with our Tell Me Something Good segments. So Bray Lynn is out for the summer, out of school, so we're putting her to work here on the Consumer Quarterback Show with our feel-good story of the week. Tell me something good.
man who was dubbed the Spider-Man of Paris has been invited to apply for French citizenship after staging an incredible rescue over this weekend. Video footage posted on Twitter showed Mamoudou Gassama, who is living in the country illegally, according to a rights group, scaling an apartment building with his bare hands and no safety equipment to save a child hanging from a fourth-floor balcony. The 22-year-old met French President Emmanuel Macron on Monday morning after being hailed for his bravery. Macron later announced that Gassama could seek French nationality and that the fire service was ready to offer him a job. I saw lots of people shouting and cars beeping, said Gassama, explaining to French media and how he got involved. I climbed up like that, and thank God I saved him, he continued. I was scared when I saved him, and we went into the living room. I started trembling, and I couldn't stand up anymore. I had to sit down. According to the preliminary investigations, the child had been at home alone, reported AFP news agency.
Yeah, and we were kind of talking about this one, and if you look at that picture there too, John, you know, the one gentleman is holding the kid in place, so we're just wondering if it's some kind of a PR ploy or something. You know, you saw the video.
It said
Ron.
staged. Maybe it was staged.
Yeah, what,
You know?
it said staged in here.
I don't think it said it was staged.
Well, it
Scaling.
said staged.
Oh, staging an incredible rescue over the weekend.
Staging an incredible. Yeah, who knows? It looked fake to me. I mean, if the guy's sitting there holding the kid's
Right.
arm, I don't know what the the underplay there would be, but yeah, interesting. So, feel good story. The kid got saved.
Yeah.
It's good news.
Yeah. So Ron Fuller here, he's in studio with us. Mossy Oak, longtime friend of the program, real estate expert. He's been in the business, real estate business for a long time. So, you know, Mossy Oak Fence Company can add security and value to your home or business.
Absolutely. You know, I am getting old. I've been an old real estate guy. And one thing about fencing, it was always a positive. Not everybody wants a pool. Not everybody likes a certain remodeled kitchen. You can sometimes put money into your home that you may or may not get back out. But a fence is kind of that universally wanted and loved item. And I was going to focus specifically on wood rots. It gets soft. It gets old. And we use something called Postmaster, which is a galvanized steel post, which is actually hidden by wood. So you don't see the post, but it's a wonderful product. It's put in concrete. So we use a cedar picket with a galvanized steel post, and you have a fence that's going to last a very long time.
And it's going to add value to your home. It's going to add security to your home, keeping dogs in, dogs out. You know,
alligators out.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a product that's going to help add value to the property, and it's going to retain its value.
Absolutely. That's what's great about a fence. Sometimes it's keeping your own children or your pet safe, or maybe keeping you safe from possibly the neighbor's pet.
Yeah.
And giving you privacy from your quirky neighbors sometimes.
Yeah, speaking about fences, circling it back to the immigration, is there going to be a fence built on the south border? What, where are we at with that? Have you seen that?
Well, I know it sure worked for Israel in the Gaza Strip.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a right to keep our citizens safe. As soon as people in this country feel like we don't owe that to ourselves, we become a more dangerous world, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I know it's talked about it. What do you think, Martin?
Well, the issue of fence is debatable.
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't matter either way. Some school of thought will say, look, you do the fence, you waste money because it doesn't solve the problem.
Right.
There are ladders there to climb the fence.
Yeah.
That's one way to look at it. Are you willing to put the resources there, or they can build tunnel below the fence and still come into the U.S.?
Right.
The fact is that we have to use common sense.
Yeah.
To put the resources where it's needed. If we believe that it's needed for the fence, it's perfect. But I don't think that the fence or the wall would be a big deal, because people around there are saying, look, the walls will not make a difference.
Yeah.
Or whether you call it wall or fence, it's not going to be the difference.
Right.
What we have known historically right now with NAFTA is that Mexico is picking up. If the economy picks up, less will come to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
The immigrants coming here are not actually Mexicans. Most of them are from other countries. Perhaps we should
look Central
at
America coming right on.
Absolutely. Perhaps we should look at what could help those economies.
Mm-hmm.
Sustainable development, so they can remain in their country rather than trying to come to the U.S.
Yeah.
Because the fate of immigrants is a very, very tough one.
Yeah.
I was talking to Ron. I came here in 1993. It's a tough one. To leave your country, to come to a country that you have no knowledge about, is out of desperation.
Right.
If people have the resources they need in their country, they probably will not come here.
Right.
That is more important. They will make their choice.
Right.
When I came in, I made the choice to come to law school.
Right.
And not to come in as a refugee. It's different. In our office, we try to encourage businesses in the U.S. to work with other businesses in other countries.
Right.
Crossing each other, providing funds, and do business together and building the economies. That is the key. Yeah.
So the more stable that the Mexican government is going to be, the better their economy is. You're saying that more people are going to stay, less are going to be seeking a better, a greener pasture, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about the drugs and the illegal activities? I've seen on the news where when it's reported that they're making the walls kind of unscalable, and it's drugs and it's just a lot of the illegal activities that's crossing so easily. Where with legal, correct immigration, the wall wouldn't actually affect negatively people coming here correctly.
Yeah, I think the issue of drugs is a big deal, but I don't subscribe to the fact that drugs coming through the Mexico border. You have vessels. I did maritime law for 2 years. Vessels bringing drugs. They create special compartment in vessels to bring drugs from Europe, from Asia, through Panama Canal. Yep. And they get their way to the U.S.
Yep.
Those ports have nothing to do with the Mexican border. I think we need to be realistic and use common sense to solve this problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Tampa Bay is a port city as well. Yeah. Miami, a lot of the port cities. How can they physically check all the containers?
That's a big deal.
That's the question. That's a big question. Can they get in there and check all the containers? Yep. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. There's so many considerations to make when you think about immigration. So if you or your family has something facing a conversation at least to have around immigration, we'd love for you to reach out to the show 813-670-7372. Give us a call 670-REQB, and we'll put you in touch with Dr. Martin Imudia. He's an attorney at law. Immigration Straight Talk with him. Center for U.S. Immigration Service as well. He's located on Hillsborough Avenue, I believe.
Waters
Avenue.
Yeah.
Waters Avenue. So so when we look at that, you look at this. I've got about a minute left for you. Parting words, Martin.
Yeah, I think in the next few weeks we'll be working with employers to solve their I-9 problem. We're going to also let you know how you're going to help us promote that, because they need to come in to learn that we have minds there. Challenges that they might face if they don't prepare for this.
Right.
One hand is, hey, Trump is great. On the other hand, that could be a problem for the employees.
Okay.
And the employers, actually.
Excellent. Yeah. Ron?
My parting words, if you're 30 years old, there's dignity in work. There is dignity in being self-sufficient. You will be a happier person. Trust me.
Yeah, absolutely. Get out there and today, there's so much opportunity. You've got the internet, you've got YouTube, the number one search engine, the second search engine is YouTube. Find a niche, find a niche. Look what, Martin's, he was an immigrant. He goes to law school. I mean, he's
awesome.
Investing in his future. I think so many times people are so focused on that short, here and now. They're focused on tension relieving activities versus goal achieving. So investing in yourself, investing in your future, and investing in your education. And a lot of it's free on YouTube. Find out what you want to learn, pull it up on YouTube and apply it. So great show today. Excellent stuff. Dr. Martin Imudia, attorney at law, our legal contributor. Ron Fuller, as always, great job today, man. We appreciate it. We want our listeners, our viewers out there to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as packing up some leftover food, clothing, carrying it with you to and from your commute, handing it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community, and do something kind for one another. And we'll see you next time here. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com, Instagram, and Twitter at Brandon Rhymes 1, Brandon Rhymes PA, Consumer Quarterback Show pages as well out there. And check us out for that June 21st event with Ken Shamrock here in town. And please go out there and make it a great day and do something kind for one another. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.